All right. Morning to you all out there. Wow, a little bit blurry there. No, good morning to you all. It's kind of an interesting notion. I think we tend to think of instincts as being things that are immutable characteristics of ours, right? They're with you whether you like them or not. And I think there's an element of that that is true, but I don't think it's as cut and dried as that, though. On some level, you can train instinct into yourself. And you can also train yourself out of instincts, I think. You could think of police officers, right? One's first instinct to firefight as a lay member of society is quite probably to panic, right? There's not a lot of room for logical thought in scenarios like that. So you're not thinking, well, the odds of blankety blank, 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 blank. No, no, that there is no logic. There is no thought. There's just instincts and adrenaline and whatever. That's what you're operating on in situations like that, right? There's too much coming at you for logical thought. So you train the right instincts into your police officers, into your soldiers, into whatever, so that when they're in that scenario, they don't think, they just do the right thing instinctively. Vice versa, you could actually think about divers or whatever. All right. I've heard this. For the record, I'm not entirely sure if it's true, but the idea would be that even if they pass out underwater and come up to the surface, they literally like they won't breathe until they start feeling like air on their face. So you want to like blow into their face or something so they actually start breathing. Because even if they're above water, like they've trained themselves into this so much where they won't start to breathe. They kind of lost that instinct to breathe unless they feel it on their face. So to some extent, I think it could be argued that instincts are a thing that you can train yourself into and a thing that you can train yourself out of. So it occurs to me maybe it's better to think of instincts more like a computer program that you write and then leave running in the background. But in theory, you could turn it off or on to some extent at will, or when it's useful, or when it turns out to not be useful. Anyways, moving on, we have a video by Andrew Wilson. Get that going here. Review Sith versus Jedi. I thought it'd be kind of fun and wacky. So we'll see what his argument is. I'm gonna be pretty sure. I think I watched the beginning part of this before. I think he goes with the Sith, maybe. He argues that they're the better guys.
All right. So yeah, I mean, I heard you talking to the other guy about a bunch of the different topics. I just had a bunch to say about all of them.
For the record, I think what he does here is he goes on to TikTok or something where he TikTok invasion or something where he I don't know if he goes on Discord or whatever, but he goes on to blank space and debates people. So I think that's what this is.
I mean, I messaged you and I said debating if Palpatine or the Empire, Sith were the good guys or not.
Yeah.
But I'm really happy to go off of whatever you wanted to talk about.
Well, I want to see if you got an argument against this.
Hmm.
Well, I think it's pretty easy to say that the Sith aren't the good guys. The Empire would be harder for me to argue against, but I think that you could argue pretty firmly that the Sith weren't the good guys.
That's true. Like I'm just saying, like they felt like maybe like in an ends justifies the means sort of way they would have been good, but like they did a lot of bad stuff. I mean, it wasn't Anakin who slaughtered a whole bunch of kids to get his stuff. They were certainly willing to burn planets to the ground to accomplish the good ends. So, good intentions, road to hell type of people, maybe.
Okay. What's the case for well, when I say the Sith, I'm talking specifically about Vader
Really?
and Palpatine.
Again,
Okay, so you're not
Vader slaughtered a whole bunch of kids, and I think Palpatine kind of egged him on. So, just saying, not great people. Um, Not to mention, I think Palpatine. Well, the whole idea, I think, of the Sith. This might have been like a retro active thing where like it might have existed originally, but there was a rule of two basically that every Sith master would get a Sith protege, which would eventually kill him. Palpatine killed his master at some point. I assume Vader at some point would have killed Palpatine, but you can look that up if you like.
Talking about the Sith as a whole, you're talking about two Sith
Hmm.
in particular.
Yeah, well, and the Sith pre-Rule of Two,
Okay.
I would say also weren't bad guys. And I'm not even sure that post Rule of Two. In fact, now that I think about it, no, I can make the case that the Jedi were worse than the Sith.
Hmm.
That the Jedi weren't the
Okay,
good
well,
guys.
are we gonna argue that which one was worse or which one was?
Yeah, that's maybe a little bit different. Arguing which one was good versus which one was just less bad. I'm trying to think what the. Just generally speaking, we like the idea, like as Americans, I think we'd like the idea of a republic better than an empire. But after all, he is Big Daddy Fascist or something. I think that was his handle on Twitter for a while.
Good or bad?
Well, who were the good guys in that scenario? You can say
Hmm.
they're both
I
bad,
would
but one's taking the side of the good guy, one's taking the side of the bad guy, right?
Liberty Mutual customized my car insurance, so I
Liberty,
only pay for
liberty,
what I need.
liberty,
What a great day.
liberty.
I see. Yeah. I mean, I would still make the case that the Jedi are always going to be the good guys,
Why?
Hmm.
just based off
Okay,
of
free
the core belief.
freedom. I don't know what their core beliefs were, but that would be like the general idea. Like the empire is portrayed as kind of a controlling force. So just generally speaking, like there's this element that you see the Jedi as like a beacon of hope and freedom for the galaxy. So we would naturally see the so opposition as bad guys. Huh.
Beliefs of the Jedi. I mean, they can be corrupted. Like a Jedi can be corrupted,
Their core beliefs are
twisted.
worse.
Out of the core. Okay, I guess
Well,
maybe
okay,
I don't know.
stick with me for a second.
I was
I
committing too early to that because I don't actually know what the core beliefs of the Jedi were.
think that if you look at the Jedi's beliefs, they're almost purely good unless they're corrupted by the person wielding them.
What's wrong with the
Whereas
Sith
the Sith
beliefs? They're not purely, or there's nothing wrong with their
That again, I don't know what the core Sith beliefs are. Maybe he'll go into that.
beliefs. What's wrong with them?
most of the Sith's beliefs are totally reliant on like the power drain of the individual, like the host. So the person
Wait,
becomes
what?
uglier, they become more cynical of
No, they
everything.
don't. That is not true.
What would you say? What makes you say that that's not true?
They don't become uglier because they're Sith. Did Palpatine become uglier because he was Sith? He was.
Wasn't he attacked or something? Like that's what went down, or like whatever. He got attacked and then he got scarred and whatnot, and then he went all kind of nutso. Order 66 stuff. Yeah, getting Order 66. A whole bunch of people died in that. Okay. Technically, I think it was mostly Jedi though, so you could argue the point that it was a kind of clinical thing. It wasn't just willy nilly firing and stuff. Okay, so Death Star. Did it? That was meant to destroy planets, right? Did he ever actually destroy a planet? Because if we're decanonizing like the new stuff, technically those guys who were the at least spiritual successors of the Sith. No, technically they were ran by Sith. They literally blew up planets, so that not great, right? Not a great thing. Not very clinical. Very very over the top methodology to get their goals accomplished.
Marred by Force lightning. No, he was marred by Force
No.
lightning.
No, so I mean I have heard people say that, and I think that is what Palpatine wants you to think in the Star Wars canon. But I think the actual like in-universe explanation is that that's his true form, and that he kind of like loses that in the moment, and then it's just revealed.
That I don't know. If you're assuming like unreliable narrator, I don't know if that's. Although I guess I haven't seen a whole lot of.
Field, so he just keeps it. I mean,
There
he
were
uses that.
really good-looking Sith, dude.
Sure.
Like the
Yeah. I
dark
mean, but
side
see, like,
itself does not make you ugly. But even if it did, let's
not.
just grant for a second that it does. That you, by being a dark side force user, get uglier. That doesn't mean it's evil even then. Just because it
You
makes you
wouldn't say that
ugly.
something that's draining you of your own, like, your youth, your purity, your power. You wouldn't
They
say
live
that that's.
longer. They don't live shorter lives. They live longer lives.
I'm
Yeah,
pretty sure though they only live
but like
based.
technically, so did the ring rays in Lord of the Rings. That doesn't work. Again, if it's leeching you and it's making you evil, etc., etc., still not good. Even if you live longer. This guy would have used the ring. Don't tell me he wouldn't. Andrew Wilson would have totally used the ring.
Off of like the ritual of taking from others, like Darth Nihilus, where he had to like consume planets.
No,
You know
that
what I mean?
way,
And Initiate
no.
also had to consume souls.
Neelis,
You know what I mean?
yeah, Neelis did that, but the other Sith Lord did not do that.
Huh.
And Revan, who was a Sith Lord, did not do that. And Malik, who was
Well,
a
Revan
Sith
is
Lord,
only a
did not
Sith.
do that.
Revan is only Malik as well. They were only Sith through mind control. They weren't Sith because they turned.
Yeah.
They got into a scuffle with Vitiate, and
Whose
then
life
Revan
force
never
was
made it out.
Kreia draining?
Say that again.
Whose life force was Kreia draining? She was definitely a Sith Lord.
Your $200 puffer keeps you warm at the coffee shop. But as soon
I
as
don't
you
like
step
Jack because they
outside,
make weird sounds when you eat.
I mean, so it's not that her own life force is being drained. Do you know what I mean? Like
She
in
lived. She lived
Knights of the
forever,
Old
dude.
Republic,
She was.
I was thinking for this thumbnail, I got to do some sort of Darth thing with this guy.
She was ancient. Palpatine was ancient. They weren't. The dark side wasn't making them, taking their vitality away from them. They were getting unnaturally long lives.
I think using the argument that they live a long time isn't necessarily like I don't think that's a good argument because all Force users will live way past their normal life expectancy.
Yeah. So then,
like
why would you use that as an argument that they were evil then?
I said that it distorted their physical look. I didn't say they died earlier.
Okay, but isn't it the case that even if it was the case that they got uglier because they used the dark side, how would that entail evil because they get uglier?
Corruption of the host.
That's not proof of corruption. That's not proof of corruption.
Well, sure it is because sorry, because like prior to them adopting.
There might be an element to the idea that they just kind of said that they were the bad guys too, and then they're supposed to be the bad guys. But I do think there was a lot of playing fast and loose with the idea of morality on the Sith side, and fast and loose with the idea of like what you should be capable of sacrificing to your ultimate goals. So that's why I would say the Sith are actually the bad guys.
The way of the Sith, they looked completely different. They acted completely different.
Yeah, so,
I mean, that's
so
only
what?
one of my reasons why I think.
So yeah, but so what?
Back to the point. Anakin slaughtered a whole bunch of kids to get more power, right? Palpatine killed his master to get more power. It does feel like they're kind of in the realm of like power hungry, overly ambitious sorts. I wonder if he's going to address that.
Yeah, like because they act differently and they're from your perspective ugly. That means evil. That doesn't.
Andrew Wilson is like the ultimate justice warrior. You're just this thing is. I was wondering. I hope you guys can see the actual screen here. Check. He's like the OG justice warrior, defending the Sith against the prejudicial. Yeah, we're good. All right. Just the prejudice of small, bigoted minds.
Follow, bro.
Well, I mean, no. So
like if I get acid thrown on my face, am I now eviler?
Yes.
No, it's not my own perception of evil. It's the universe is repulsed by them. They would even categorize them as evil in the Star Wars universe, which is why they're constantly in hiding.
Yeah, I get that they're categorized.
There's another element to this too, which is generally, I guess it feels like it's generally an element of like dictatorships or kind of Nazi-esque societies where they there's kind of a lot of taking people out back type of stuff that went on. It seems like a lot of I guess I don't know. Maybe I'm not up enough on my lore, but I feel like that would have been the idea of the Empire, that people could be taken at the behest of the state anytime, anywhere, any place, and just killed, which is not the greatest thing.
That way, as being evil, but that's narrative building. They just claim that they're evil. They don't demonstrate that they're evil. And remember, Anakin Skywalker.
Look, what was the purpose of the Death Star? Was it like a purely a military mechanism? I don't remember exactly.
Says to Obi-Wan Kenobi in the 3rd episode, from my perspective, the Jedi are evil.
Yeah, but we know Anakin to be completely...
This isn't just a wallet, it's a rare find. There's something different about owning something almost nobody else has. That's why when Rich...
He lost at that point.
How was he?
He's crying in the scene before that. Like, I mean,
yeah. Well, yeah, he was.
He wants R2 to stay with the ship, so R2 doesn't see what he's going to do.
Yeah, of course, because he had seen the Jedi try to assassinate the duly elected Chancellor of the Republic, and he felt betrayed by them. So yeah, he was a little confused. That would be very confusing if you saw everybody that you love try to assassinate your mentor. You probably wouldn't like that very much.
Might be an understatement.
Well, was it that, or do you think it was the fact that he was holding on to his mom dying? I mean, he blames the Jedi.
And whose fault was that? The Jedi who refused. They absolutely refused. They took this slave kid away from mom, and then none of them bothered to go.
There's a point against the Jedi. They do tend to recruit basically child soldiers or whatever, like take people away from their parents at a very young age, which is kind of a little bit twisted. I would say so. Point Andrew.
Go back and get her out of slavery. This is the benevolent order of the Jedi. They take the slave kid, and then they had 16 years, and they just never bothered to go back and get Mama. That sounds like a really bad idea, bro.
You don't think that any of these other kids that they take in to be Jedi have parents that are like living horrible lives that they would need to be saved from?
Well, if the whole point is to distance yourself from emotional entanglements, then wouldn't the Jedi go out of their way in order to put the kid's mind at ease by at least rescuing the slave mom?
No, because then that would be reinforcing the thought that you need to give in to these emotions. Only then you can only...
That is a little bit twisted, honestly. Kill them both. Destroy them both, man. Both the Sith and the Jedi, they're both evil. Hey.
You have peace once you've given into the emotion that you know everything's totally okay.
Well, that's stupid. No. That's like leaving meth in the room of a meth addict and then going, "Why did you smoke that?"
Well, not necessarily. I mean,
yeah,
no, I don't think that's a good argument. I don't think they match up.
Yeah, they match up. All Anakin Skywalker was thinking about was that his mom was a slave somewhere else. How was that helpful to him?
Okay, you're right with that, but this is also the argument that Yoda makes, and so I don't think that they're evil by taking him. I think that it was just the circumstances, but that doesn't mean that they now need to right all the wrongs of Anakin's life to like make him into this perfect person. Obi-Wan has has very similar problems, which is why Obi-Wan feels so compelled to be like his brother to him.
What problems did Obi-Wan have? His family wasn't a bunch of slaves on a desert planet.
No, his family wasn't slaves, but he had his brother was. I mean, like he has like that love entanglement that they write into the story later. George Lucas does. So I mean, and that's also why I don't think that Anakin needs.
And by the way, the Jedi not allowing marriage was a prime problem when it came.
I'm just saying, like it does feel like kind of an issue. Like, you might see a lot of sexual dysfunction in monk things or nunneries because of that. So I think generally speaking, a refusal to allow people to get married and to exercise a very normal instinct of theirs, or something to suppress that very important part of who they are, is not, generally speaking, maybe the best route to take. So that was maybe a little bit weird. Again, point Andrew Wilson.
Aim to these, and by the way, telling people not to have relationships and to not have any sort of emotional entanglements was one of the biggest weaknesses.
Again, maybe point Wilson. Point against the Jedi.
There was no
I agree
goodness
it was
there.
one of their weaknesses, but if you look at what they're trying to do, it almost kind of makes sense.
How does it make sense?
Because so I don't have any concrete evidence to support what I'm about to say, but it seems as if they were trying to learn from the old Republic, because the old Republic was a lot more chaotic. Like, people could get married. They had dudes had harems of Jedi chicks that they would walk around with. I think even in the Republic Commando books, there's still, at the time of the
So I didn't actually know that there would have been a point where the Jedi were actually able to do stuff. Anyways, all right, we'll be done with that there. Moral of the story: it does seem like there are points against both of them, and perhaps a lot of water or a lot of weight is carried by the fact that they say dark side of the Force, light side of the Force. But I do think that the Sith did a lot of stuff that would be characteristic of Hitlerian tactics and final solutions and whatnot. It feels like that was more their methodology, and ostensibly, at least the Jedi were trying to work for a better world. So I think I kind of see where Andrew's coming from, but I also think that he's maybe somewhat wrong-ish. I remain unchanged. All right, afterthoughts, and perhaps a point or two in Mr. Wilson's favor. It seems like the point could be argued that the Jedi wanted to exert the same level of control over the Force and Force-sensitive children, which was ostensibly I say ostensibly, which was in theory the greatest military accoutrement in the galaxy, as the Empire wanted to exert over the galaxy itself. You could argue that ostensibly their motives were better, but it's kind of a little bit of a dubious proposition. I had to look this up. The Jedi Council weren't democratically elected. They were elected by Jedi from the ranks of the Jedi. So it becomes kind of a dubious proposition if kind of a religiously fanatical group want to control what might be considered to the nuclear deterrence in the galaxy, and they aren't democratically elected, and they basically take child soldiers and they force celibacy from their adherents, and I'm kind of more up in the air than I was before as to who is the good guy. Now, I think that there is a point that could be made where you could delineate the original trilogy and say, just as itself, as a self-contained thing, yes, in the original trilogy, Empire is basically space Nazis with an autocracy. The New Republic is trying to bring back free and democratic elections and stuff like that. The Sith are the ones in control of the Empire, so, bad guys, autocracy, etc. Jedi are trying to help democracy, elections, etc. So in that scenario, yes, Empire bad, New Republic good, Sith bad, Jedi good. But with the prequels and with the extended universe, it feels like that becomes a much more dubious proposition. And as Andrew argues, perhaps you could argue that the Empire was in fact the good guys, or perhaps maybe at least there were no clear-cut good guys. It feels like on the face of it, both of them were pretty nefarious coded, if that makes sense. Anyways, now for something completely different, we're going to look at Guy Fawkes. All right. Wait a second. Let me get some water. Guy Fawkes, also known as Gaiudo, Guido? Yeah, Gaiudo. Yui? Oh, goodness, I'm not even going to try to. While fighting for the Spanish, was a member of a group of provincial English Catholics involved in the failed gunpowder plot of 1605. Interesting. He was born and educated in York. His father died when Fawkes was 8 years old, after which his mother married a recusant Catholic. I don't think they liked the Catholics in England, actually, for a very long time. Or in America, there was a whole thing where they had to do with the Catholics being kind of the predominant religion for a long time and kind of exercising that for a long time. Fox converted to Catholicism, and left for mainland Europe, where he fought for Catholic Spain in the 80 Years' War against the Protestant Dutch reformers in the Low Countries. Okay, Low Countries. Netherlands is historically and geographically coastal lowland region in northwestern Europe, formerly the lower basin of the Rhine, Meuse, Scheldt Delta, consisting today of 3 modern Benelux countries: Belgium, Luxembourg, and I assume Netherlands, I don't know, Holland, I don't know. He traveled to Spain to seek support for a Catholic rebellion in England without success. He later met Thomas Winter, with whom he returned to England. Winter introduced him to Robert Catesby, who planned to assassinate King James I and restore a Catholic monarch to the throne. The plotters leased an undercroft beneath the House of Lords. Guy Fawkes was placed in the charge of gunpowder that had stockpiled there. The authorities were prompted by an anonymous letter to search Westminster Palace during the early hours of the 5th of November. It should be November 5th, not 5 November, 5th November. And they found Guy Fawkes guarding the explosives. He was questioned and tortured over the next days and confessed to wanting to blow up the House of Lords. By the way, just for the record, torture, notoriously unreliable when it comes to confessions. There's a reason they don't really use it that much anymore. People say a lot of things when they're in pain. Fawkes, I say notoriously unreliable, but it does feel like I've heard that in studies they say, like, yeah, when people are tortured, they literally will say a lot of stuff, and it's hard to find out what's reliable even. Fawkes was sentenced to be hanged, drawn, and quartered. However, his execution on the 31st, again, January 31st, or 31st of January, not 31st January. He died when his neck was broken as he was hanged. Some sources are claiming that he deliberately jumped to make this happen and thus avoid the agony of his sentence. He became synonymous with the gunpowder plot, the failure of which has been commemorated in the UK as Guy Fawkes Night since 5th of November 1605, when his effigy is traditionally burned on a bonfire, commonly accompanied by fireworks. Interesting. That's some crazy stuff, Guy Fawkes. It's one of the bigger holidays, I think, actually, of England. And they have Boxing Day too, which is, I think, after Christmas. I don't know how many days after Christmas. Maybe just the next day. I don't know. Childhood. Let's see if there's anything else here. Military career. Gunpowder plot. Thomas Percy. The Protestant King James. There was a lot of inbreeding that went on in their royal families. If you didn't know that, like, I think it was the Habsburg princes. The Habsburgs, they would kind of a line of royal houses, I think. It's been a while since I looked that up, though. So, like, Normandy, I think, and England had a lot of commonalities in ancestries and whatnot. So there was a lot of stuff that would go on over the succession. Maybe there might have just been a lot of inbreeding in the royal families in general, because they would maybe often marry off their children to fellow royal families or whatever. And purebred and inbred, kind of the same thing sometimes. All right, is there anything else down here I want to look at? Yeah. All right, we'll leave it at that. History, people. All right, let's see if we can get. Actually, I might download something else here. Give me a second. Oh, goodness gracious. But fine. There's some things on Tower Dominion that I want to see if I can get. Alright. There we go. So I think it should capture any full screen application.
What do you subscribe to?
I subscribe to true love.
I subscribe to bad behavior.
I subscribe to monsters.
Okay. Let's see here. Keep going. There we go. We're good. Alright, give me a second. I gotta run out and do something. Life stuff. Wait a minute. I think for a while I actually thought that you would get the same amount whether or not you stop them, but I think you actually like it more if you kill them before they get there. Huzzah! Get on the phone. Here. All right. This is a crappy setup. Alright, here we go, Warwolf. War wagon. Maybe not. Just barely. Put that there. Alright. Come on, Boyle. Alright, this is maybe a little bit better. Ish. Bring this around to here. Right in here. Bring it out here. And then, if possible, alright. Go with that. That's stupid. I'm assuming Feijo type. Just that could go a very different way, in a very, very funny way. Rebalance this game so that you get like a consistent grade of enemies that get harder and harder progressively. It feels like sometimes you just get a wave that's just insanely hard. That's the other thing. I cannot figure out what rhyme or reason there is as to how or why they send out the troops in what direction. Come on. Nice. That's not better. Worse. Alright. Okay, stop that. Finally. All right. Did I? I don't think there were any improvements either. That would actually probably be a good one to get sometime. 15 negative building costs. I can have it. Afraid I have to build more stuff here. I knew it would eventually, but I was afraid specifically that they were going to amp it up Mother of pearl. Alright, one more, and we're done. Oh, nice. Bring this one around. Should hopefully work-ish. Alright. That was not a good place to go this, but I guess it bit again. Bring this around this way. Tie it somehow. Alright.
'Alright.
wonder if sometime you could actually get Sly Cooper for this thing, because that's one of our favorite games. I'd love to play this for fast time. Sorry. There's a really funny Mitchell and Webb sketch with it. They're doing some racist sketches as opposed to more classy or for the record, poke at racism, I think. Not actually. They're not actually racist, I don't think. Reconstruction if you only have one of them. Build one of them. And see if you have a formidable utility that I thought. So that's actually quite useful. The shortest one here. Yes. Watch David Lopez. Maybe that's one thing I should focus on more, is actually making use of the buildings and whatnot. No. Forgot about that. I could use that 3-1 over here. Put it over there. I thought about the fact that I have to get that somehow. There's a place for that, but all right. Nice. Now, you just gotta cover this up. Oh, we forgot about that. I guess we're rolling with this video. All right. And that's maybe part of the thing too that switches stuff up is changing the map actually. You might change where people come from, maybe come from what direction. Many monsters. David Portnoy. Some dude in Hollywood. I think I remember hearing it from like Nerdrotic or something. think of a place where you could actually put those castles or whatever. And if she asks me why, you can tell her that I told her that I'm tired. Castles in the air, got a dream. All the bullets share castle walls. Leave me to despair. Eventually you just run out of space. Alright. In theory, pretty all-encompassing. Tell her the reason why I can't remain. I know she'll understand if you tell it to her plain. I know I am weak, but I can't face that girl again. Alright, that's about as expanded as it will get. Look at that. Look at that. Covers pretty much the whole map. By Jove, I think we got it. Alright, so go like this. Ooh, nice. More recon production. Here I can put one more right about here. Nice access point. See, and that's they're cool, but also you can't really put them anywhere. Maybe here? No, not there. feel like you'd almost need some sort of, you need a lot of platforms or something where you could actually use these things. Or I think sometimes you can get like an empty space. Huh. And if that wasn't there, like a blot upon the civilized world. There we go. There's something useful. That would in some way be good. That will also be good. Tell her the reasons why I can't remain. I know she'll understand if you tell it to her plain. So there's a way you could get him to prioritize whatchamathingies. Air. I guess maybe we're good on that. I don't know. Think we're good. Now if I could just get a platform for right here though. Oh yes. Hallelujah! Tell her the reasons why I can't remain. I know she will understand if you tell it to her plain. Hills, a forest green, where the mountain touch the sky. Lost. Come on, boyos. Let's do this. Now stop it. Yeah. I could. Alright, some of these bastions here. Ooh, nice. Let's see. Yes. Yes. Still want to put some of the bastions up. If I get a chance, I shall. Sweet glory, that's a lot of people. I say people, again, monsters. Alright. No such thing as overkill in this game. Tell her the reasons why I can't remain. Alright, let's see, we got this right here. Okay, air traffic seems to be the thing that's getting closest there. The most problematic. One of these things. Alright. Man, I gotta get done with this. Now, I'm sorry guys, I gotta be done with this. So there's life to get back to. All right. Thank you guys for watching. Have a happy weekend.